My name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. My family and I just finished watching the GOP debate. Seems like there's been 50 of them. Not a whole lot happened tonight, not the fireworks that we've been used to seeing. Everybody was pretty calm and pretty respectful of each other. But one of the major issues that did get raised tonight, and hasn't been raised all that much before, is that about how much, to what extent, are candidates beholden to their campaign contributors. Donald Trump made a point that he's self-funded, so he's not beholden to people that have given him money because there's only been a few small donations. He tried to make the point that the other candidates were basically at the beck and call of those who contributed to their campaigns, or they would be at their beck and call if they were elected. Ted Cruz tried to deflect that, and as I remember, Marco Rubio nor John Kasich had to answer that question. But what goes unnoticed, I think, in that is that there was a lot of rhetoric in tonight's debate about how much and how important it was for the party to win. Reince Priebus came out before the debate and said that no matter who the candidate that the Republican Party put forward for the general election, that the entire party would back them. That was necessary, that was required. And then during the debate, the candidate said that it was important that whoever among us get the nomination, that we defeat Hillary Clinton. That Hillary Clinton was the great evil, or Bernie Sanders was the great evil. Now, I'll acknowledge that a Hillary Clinton presidency would be a disaster. A Bernie Sanders presidency would be a disaster. Actually, almost all of these Republicans, if not all of them, if they were president, would be a disaster as well. But that form of that loyalty to the party is also a way that campaign contributors are satisfied, because donors give a lot to parties as well, and through parties and through PACs to campaigns. So as candidates, if you're loyal to your party no matter what, you are in effect earning campaign donations and satisfying those campaign donors who give massive amounts of money to the Republican Party and or the Democrat Party. So it's not really that different to say, well, I have just a small a few campaign contributors, I'm not beholden to them, yet say that I'm 100% loyal to the party, because the party's full of bad money just as much as individual candidates are. In fact, it's all a part of the same huge mess, and that is the influence that money has in politics. Now, you didn't hear any of them talk tonight about campaign finance reform, and that's fine, because as libertarians, the sort of campaign finance reform that we would put forward is not restricting the flow of money into candidates necessarily, but to limit the size and scope of government, to decrease it to a point that not only respects people's individual liberties, but makes investing in government and politicians not a very good investment for those who would make those contributions. So reduce government to the size where it doesn't matter anymore. So speaking of campaign finance, my competitors in this race, Russ Feingold and Ron Johnson, have also raised millions and millions of dollars, both in Wisconsin and from other parts of the country. And to think that they're not going to be loyal to those contributors, either loyal to their party specifically or loyal to those who specifically contributed to them, is ridiculous and naive. Only one party stands for the complete disassembling of that whole mess, and that is reducing the size and scope of government so that it's not a good investment anymore and returns more power and authority back to you from whom it came originally, and that is the Libertarian Party. And only one candidate in the race for United States Senate stands for that as well, and that is me, Phil Anderson, your humble Libertarian candidate for Senate. I will go to Washington and do my best to disassemble that mess, that bloated bureaucracy, that pool of campaign contributions, funding behaviors, sponsoring candidates, suppressing other candidates, all of the nasty politics that goes on that we never hear about because, in effect, the media is more or less bought and paid for as well. All of the mess that's there, I will stand up against it. And why? Because I'm not part of it. I'm not I'm not a businessman who's been on either side of it like Donald Trump claims to be. I'm not a politician from either big party that has to be beholden to the party or to campaign contributors. I am a person, just like you, just like any of you who's watching this video, who's decided to stand up and to say something, to do something. And while I understand that the odds are long that I'm successful, that it's going to be a difficult fight, I believe that it's important that these questions are asked of Russ Feingold and Ron Johnson. Why do you need this much money? What are you actually going to do when you're in office? Because what we've seen is Ron Johnson in office becoming more and more an establishment Republican and less of a Tea Party conservative. And what we've seen since Russ Feingold's not been in office is a candidate who used to be sort of a man of the people, but in the years since he's lost, has basically set up his own PAC that's funded his own lifestyle and that of his girlfriend and that of his family and his staffers, and just waiting around to run again, write a book, teach a class in California. You know, he's become your usual sort of garden variety Democrat politician. No matter what he used to be, that's what he has become. And so is Ron Johnson. They're about the money, they're about the power, they're about the loyalty to their parties, and they're not about you, the citizens of Wisconsin. And I am. I have to be. Because I don't have a choice, really, to be honest with you. I'm a man of the people. I'm one of you. And I understand that, you know, what we need to have from Washington is less Washington. We need less Washington. In effect, we need less Madison. We need less and fewer debacles like the WEDC, the corrupt politics that's gone on in the Republican Party under Scott Walker, the corrupt politics that went on under Jim Doyle and Tommy Thompson and Scott McCallum, and all the way back to Patrick Lucy and beyond. All these people, some of whom are probably many of you aren't even familiar with, but all the politicians that have come through Wisconsin, which is supposedly used to be a state of clean politics, have been just as dirty because they owe their primary loyalty to party, not to individuals, not to families, not to neighborhoods, not to small communities like I do. So please consider voting for me. Because of all the candidates in the presidential election and the Senate elections, only libertarians are truly different in that they're not beholden to big money. They're not looking to have power over you. They're not looking to continue the influence of campaign contributors. They're only looking to tear down the whole stupid, corrupt thing. And that's what I promise that I will fight for in Washington as your senator.